Now we're recording. Holy crap.
Holy crap.
Would you imagine doing a show and not having the record button hit?
Right? I'm Melinda McKinsey.
I'm Tom Wise. You're stopping by to unpack some shit with us. We got a couple of topics. We'll do a little chit chatting and hopefully wrap this up in short order.
Well, here's the thing. It's our Christmas edition. So I'd be curious to know what your topics are today because it's the day before the big day.
Like I said last time, I'm a boy. I mean, I like Christmas. I tell you this, it'd be very interesting how many things would be celebrated if men were really, ruling the world. Guys forget birthdays; they're not paying attention to anniversaries.
No.
I think it's lovely. I think you need to have something on the calendar, so I'm all for Christmas.
Yeah. Christmas is super fun. I have a lot of Christmas topics, but before we get started, I want to say something and tell me if you know what this means. Are you ready? Melakaliki maka mia huli maka hiki how.
Melakaliki hake means in Hawaiian say, "Have a Merry Christmas to you."
Right? Melakaliki maka is Hawaii's way. Because I brag about growing up in Hawaii.
If one of us was born in Hawaii, that would be amazing.
What? So Melakaliki maka means Merry Christmas. And then Mia, Huli maka hiki how means and a Happy New Year.
Isn't that something?
Yes.
Coral and Tina used to sing that song all the time. That's kind of like their Christmas song.
Yeah, it's a great little Christmas.
Stepdaughter and ex-wife. Yeah.
What language do you want to say Merry Christmas in?
Feliz Navidad.
There it is. There it is. And this is the bilingual version of our Christmas holiday show.
Oh, I apologize if I sound a little distracted. The email's going, business things happening. The real estate guys wants me to do something right now, but he's going to have to wait 30 minutes.
That's right.
Because we've got shit to unpack.
Yeah, some shit to unpack. And for anybody watching on YouTube, I have an elf costume on, and I bought this a few years ago because when my sister was visiting in New York, we had this crazy idea that we were going to dress up as elves and go see Santa, because the year before we had seen Santa and we dressed up in onesie pajamas, which was the best moment of my life. And we decided to dress as elves. Well, for whatever reason, our timing was off and you had to make a reservation to see Santa. You could no longer stand in line. So we couldn't see Santa. So instead, we put on all the whole elf stuff. We put makeup all over our faces and we walked around the neighborhood and gave candy away.
Ain't that sweet? Let me ask you a question. If you and Carol, all right?
Yes.
What if you were an only child? Would you do this nonsense, or do you need to drag Carol along to foundation, give you a foundation for your madness? Because Carol's not coming up with this stuff on her own.
Carol does not like the attention that I like, for sure. Here's the thing about Carol though. She's creative behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, she made my Big Bird costume. She can go, but she's not the person driving that bus. She's support.
If I was an only child, I would have to find someone that I could lure with me because I definitely like having a pal.
Right.
Because the laughter is the best part of all of this.
Of course.
When we decided to go see Santa here in New York, the reason we did it is because we found out from our mom there are no baby pictures of us with Santa for whatever reason. They just didn't take a lot of pictures, what have you. So Carol and I decided we needed to recreate our childhood. So we wore onesie pajamas, wore them onto the subway. No one looked at us twice because who cares? You can wear whatever you want in New York. And we had the best time with Santa Claus. It's a great experience. If you ever come to New York during the holidays, I highly recommend going to see Santa. It's totally magical. As soon as you show up, the elves run up and say, oh, you're here, Santa's been waiting for you. And even I, as an adult, got excited about it. I was like, oh, he knows I'm coming. So I love costumes. I love to dress up, and I have a lot of Christmassy stuff I want to talk about today.
All right, let's do that. Because my stuff is, here or there.
Yes.
But we could do your stuff.
Okay, well, before we get to the Christmas stuff, I do want to ask your opinion on something. We've had a lot of snow, and I knew I had to take the car out. So I was out. The snow was getting crunchy, right? So I was out with the shovel, and I was just digging around from behind the car and in front of the car so I could pull out into the road, right?
Yeah.
Not a lot of digging. I'm out on my busy road, and I'm under the tire. I'm digging. There's a lot of traffic, and a man A man rolls down his window. Now, why would a man roll down his window if a lady is shoveling snow?
Ma'am, can I help you with the shovel? I'm going to pull over and see if I can, give you a hand with that. Looks
No,
heavy.
it's more realistic. What do men like to do instead of helping us physically?
I can hope that he does the right thing, can't I?
You can hope, and I love your bright outlook on something that is truly, as we all know,
Was he trying to get a handful?
what he was trying to do. Here's what he did. He leaned out and he goes, "Ma'am, you don't have to do that. You can just drive right over it."
Oh, he's mansplaining.
He was mansplaining how I can get my car out. So, as I typically do, I just smiled and waved because what am I going to fight? I wanted to punch him in the throat, but there's really no point in doing that.
Why
He
do
just,
people feel the need to get involved? If you're doing something tragic, like, hey, you're putting tacks in front of your tire, ma'am, you may not want to do that.
right? And here's the thing, if I was a dude, would he have done that?
Of course not.
Right. So I got mansplained how I didn't need to be shoveling all those ice blocks. So that felt really good.
It's insane.
No, no, it's unfortunate. So anyway, that happened. I just thought that was interesting. So I looked up a bunch of Christmas stuff, and there are a lot of things I didn't know about Christmas, and I'm curious to know because I feel like you're a really smart guy, and a lot of times when I ask you stuff, you know the answer to this. The first thing I want to say is, Christmas obviously isn't celebrated everywhere. And what we know about it is as a Christian holiday, right? Baby Jesus,
Of course.
all the stuff, right? That's what we know. Well, Christmas is actually celebrated in 160 countries worldwide. So 160, that's more than what I thought it would be, right?
Yeah.
But did you know that in 1659 that Christmas was outlawed in Boston? It was actually outlawed for 22 years before they brought it back. Do you want to know why Christmas was outlawed in Boston?
Let me try to guess.
Yes, try to guess. Remember, 1659.
It had something to do with witchcraft.
Oh, that's a good answer, though. That's a good answer. That's a really good answer. Here's the deal. I didn't know this about Christmas. They said that there's no one person responsible for creating Christmas. It started during the Roman Empire. And in 1659, Christmas was hedonistic. It was a time of the year, it went on for days. And what they did was they would do binge drinking, gluttony, and it says, and other hedonism. And what would happen is people that were getting drunk and stuff would go door to door and threaten vandalism if they didn't get food and drink.
They were celebrating the wrong holiday.
Right? And so people were so angry about it, they actually outlawed it in Boston because they said, we're not gonna have this hedonism here. Christmas is canceled. So I thought that was very interesting because when you think of Christmas, do you think of that? I mean, I do think of gluttony, definitely drinking.
A little overindulgence.
Overindulgence. But when you think of Christmas, do you also think about, we talked about this before, and you had a pretty sweet family. When I think of Christmas, I think of relatives maybe I don't necessarily want to be around and the awkward uncle saying racist things, but it sounds like your family never really did that. You guys sounded lovely.
By the time I got aware, the only people that would be like that, maybe my grandfather, he was done. He was, just give him booze and sit him down. He wasn't very much talker. And then the other characters were colorful, but it's interesting because I told you that I brought up Pete Foley on a family Skype we had about a month ago.
Ooh.
And my sister had a visceral reaction. Like she did not see Pete as that fun-loving guy, where us little kids did. So that was interesting. So everybody's experience is a little bit different.
And did she tell you specifically why she did not enjoy him?
No, because there was 8 of us and we're all chatting around about this, that, and the other thing. So we never really got to dig deep on that topic. But I'd be interested. I certainly, I don't, I'd like to know what was wrong. Hopefully he didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, that's the thing that you always worry about from that era is, did the guy do something creepy with the little girl, even if it's an inappropriate comment, that he thinks is super funny. right? So, okay, so the government actually declared Christmas a public holiday in what year? Do you want to guess what year you think the government finally said, yes, this is a holiday, we're going to recognize it?
That wasn't until the 1800s at the earliest, and I'll say 1850.
You're amazing. You're good with numbers. 1870.
That's a great guess.
No, it's a fantastic guess. You would be good at trivia. That's a fantastic guess. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the first state to recognize in the United States to recognize Christmas and the last state to recognize Christmas. Take a wild guess. Who do you think would be the first state? And it's not a state that I expected to be the first state to go, we are recognizing this and we're celebrating this as an official holiday.
Really? That's Indiana.
Nope.
What?
Guess down south.
Really?
Yes. I know.
Georgia?
Alabama.
Huh.
I wouldn't have expected it. I wouldn't have expected Alabama. Guess who was the last state to go, fine, we'll recognize Christmas.
Well,
And-
I'm going to guess Hawaii or Alaska as they were the last in.
No, I'm going to say consider a state that is actually heavily into QAnon and some Trump stuff.
It's Idaho,
No, dude, no. It's in that region.
Oregon, Washington.
Think of dirty, rotten scoundrels.
Oklahoma.
Yes, Oklahoma. They were the last one to recognize it. So you're doing good, though. You're doing good.
Is that fun? There's no rhyme or reason to that, I don't think.
No, I think it's interesting. Okay, so guess what the Christmas tree capital of the world is? Christmas tree capital of the world.
So where they're harvesting the most Christmas trees?
Yes.
Something like that in the world.
In
Well,
the world.
It's going to be northern, could be Canada, for God's sakes. Could be Saskatchewan, Canada.
I think that's a very good guess, but it's very wrong.
Yeah.
It's Indiana, Pennsylvania.
Oh, I got to my Indiana answer a little early.
You did, so it kind of counts. So even when you're wrong, you're right. It's Indiana.
Isn't that something?
Pennsylvania. And do you know what the most popular type of Christmas tree is?
Well, that would be like a like a pine, spruce pine? Spruce?
It's a Fraser fir.
Fraser fir, of course.
Because the needles are soft and they're about a 1 inch. And so people like the Fraser fir. Okay. Do you know how Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer got started? Like what made it take off?
Well, you mean before the 1960s cartoon?
Yes.
Before that?
Yes.
Well, I know that Coca-Cola had the Santa. With that became that entrenched the whole Santa Claus, Saint Nick thing.
Yes, Coca-Cola actually created the red suit for Santa. Coca-Cola is credited with that. So yes, that's very good.
Yeah, the caricature. I mean, they didn't invent the rhyme,
Right.
But they grabbed the caricature. So
Yeah.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, I don't know who invented that.
Well, Rudolph took off as a marketing campaign for Montgomery Wards.
Wow. What year was
Right?
that?
I'm sorry?
What year?
You know what? I don't have the year written down. I'm very sorry. I just thought it was fascinating because I remember, is Montgomery Ward still around?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I do remember that as a small child.
Of course, Montgomery Wards. And then, didn't Burl Ives sing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? I wonder if they were in cahoots with Montgomery Wards.
You know what? I should look that up. I love Burl Ives. Every time you hear him sing, doesn't it just bring you back? Burl Ives
Absolutely.
is
He was
classic.
great. Yep.
So good. So it started out as a marketing campaign. So here's another trivia thing for you. In the movie Elf, do you know what the first code of elves are? In the movie Elves, what does he say that the first code of elves are?
Don't talk about elves. No, that's
Every day like Christmas Day.
really.
Treat every day like Christmas Day. Imagine how the world would be if we treated every day like Christmas Day.
Wouldn't that be nice? That's a very nice thought.
So I thought that was very good. Here's one. You like math, so I think this is going to be fun. You know the song, The 12 Days of Christmas, right?
Yes, ma'am.
On the first day of Christmas. What was the first gift? Partridge in a pear tree, right?
Yes.
Partridge in a. Okay. In that song, how many total gifts were given in the 12 Days of Christmas?
Well, then you mean every stanza or the entire song? Because you had 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right?
The entire song, how many gifts total were given?
So that would be 12 times 12 times 5. So somewhere, I'm going to say somewhere around 60.
Well, because think about this. First day is a partridge in a pear tree. What's the second day of Christmas? Do you remember this song? Second day
Yeah,
of Christmas.
2 turtle doves.
Okay,
3
so
French
now
heads.
we already
4.
have 3 gifts. We already have 3 gifts. On the third day of Christmas.
Well, I'm saying, because you got 12 on this side, you got 1 on this side, right? So that's 13. Then 2 and 11, that's 13. That's 26, right? And then
Well,
10 and 3, 39. What?
You're the math guy. I'm letting you do your thing.
Well, I'm saying, so I'm going to get some ballpark in the 60s.
According to the trivia that I looked up, and I believed it, I didn't question it because I'm not good at math, 364.
Okay, so now they're doubling. So they're every day you're getting, so that's an interesting observation. Is this an accumulation? Every day you're going to get a French hen, and then the next day you get 2 turtle doves and another French hen. So you end up with 12 French hens or 12 partridges in a pear tree?
I think so, right?
Well, they have to be to come up with that number.
Yeah.
I was thinking that it's every day you get additional. Here's my first day, here's 1 of this. The second day, here's 2 of this. And here's the third day, 3 of this.
Right.
That math is saying you're getting another 1 of this and 2 more of that, and then 3 of these.
Every day. Because you know what? That's a woman's kind of a Christmas. You can't overdo it enough, Tom. You just got to give more and more and more.
Could you imagine all those partridges, all those turtle doves?
Yes.
That's an interesting thing how people see that song, because I'm saying, okay, 12 is fine. Then the next day is 11. So every day you get 1 additional gift.
Right? That's a good Christmas. Do you know, in the movie The Grinch, what are the 3 words that are used to describe the Grinch?
I didn't have any idea we were doing a quiz today.
I know, but you're good at this stuff.
So the 3 words to describe the Grinch?
Yes.
Well, you're a mean one, but that's not the answer.
It's part of this song.
Blah, 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 blah.
It's on a lot of merchandise when you see pictures of the Grinch to describe him. If that helps at all. It's
I'm trying to think. And there's 3 words. Like despicable. Blah, 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 blah.
It's 3 words, and each word starts with the letter S.
Oh, I apologize. I'm not prepared.
That's okay. It's stink, stink, stunk.
Right. I knew it was something.
Stink, stunk. Okay, let's go back to a classic movie. In It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, here we go. This is my wheelhouse.
This is I knew you would like this one. I need to rewatch that movie. When was the last time you saw It's a Wonderful Life?
It's probably not been more than a year.
Okay, very good, very good. I'm gonna have Alex and Will watch it with me this year. What is the name of George Bailey's guardian angel?
Clarence.
Yes,
Clarence.
Do you know Clarence's last name? I didn't know his last name.
I think it's Italian.
Well, I'm wondering if they made a big deal in the. I can't. It's been so long since I've seen it.
It's Clarence. It's Clarence Oddfellow, the third or something. Oddbody. All right, I'm close.
Clarence Oddbody.
Yeah, I knew that.
Do they signify that in the film about why he has that name?
No.
Okay. All right. I thought maybe there was a reason. Okay. Do you know, trivia for Christmas, what the significance or the superstition is with the Yule log?
I'm gonna guess that, wood was a commodity like coal for a Christmas carol, and so you would save a log for Christmas that would hopefully heat the whole place.
That's very practical and manly of you, and I like that answer. Here's what they said online. With the Yule log, you burn it on Christmas Eve.
Uh-huh.
It's believed that you will face bad luck in the new year if it burns out before the next day.
Really?
That's what they said. I didn't know. I've never heard that before in my life.
I had never heard that either.
Yeah. So while I was going through all this stuff, I don't know how you do at home, but if I'm working on a project, a lot of times I'll put on a movie or something in the background just as something to do.
Of course.
Right? So I was flicking through the channels, and it's funny when you watch, when I say older films, this film was in 2006, but for 2020, it's funny how antiquated some things really are as far as how people dress, the technology, everything is very different, right?
Right.
I found a movie I want to know if you've seen it, and if you haven't, I recommend it because it was lovely and fun. It had Queen Latifah in it. 2006. It's called Last Holiday. Have you heard of it?
I have not.
Okay. Please watch it. I'm not going to tell you anything about it except for one of the things I really enjoyed about it was her character kept a book, and she called it the Book of Possibilities. And she kept a little book, and she put things in there that she wanted to be possible in her life.
Really?
And it's a really kind of cool, feel-good movie about how people treat people, about your station in life, about taking chances, all those things I really love. And I know you love those things too,
Absolutely.
Tom.
Absolutely.
So I will tell you, it's a wonderful holiday movie called Last Holiday with Queen Latifah, 2006. So please watch that. Okay. So I started digging around because I'm looking up all this trivia, and I started looking up unusual Christmas gifts. Why not? I'm curious. When you think about the Christmas holidays as a child and as an adult, did you ever have a year where you're like, wow, this was like an amazing Christmas because something really stood out, or this was the suckball Christmas of all time because something stood out?
I've never been disappointed. I've always been happy.
Okay.
About it.
Even as a kid?
Yeah, as a kid, absolutely. I remember one year though, for whatever reason, I was mental about getting a pogo stick. I must have been 9 or 10, right?
Yes.
And it's all I could talk about for a whole year. I got the pogo stick. I probably was on it for 1.5 days, and I was done with it. But it was it was one of those things that I just had to have. And by the time summer came around, because it was winter in Chicago, you can't go pogo sticking inside the house, and you can't pogo stick outside on the snow.
True.
I do recall though, I pogo sticked a little bit, and I was like, nah, that's not what it's cracked up to be.
You know what? I have a pogo stick story too.
What?
It must have been the era that we're from.
Yes.
At the time that we got our pogo stick, I was living in Hawaii. So our Christmases were very warm. It was very warm. Our Santas were different. The reindeers were different. The Hawaiian Santa had like a Hawaiian skirt. He was tan. He was a Hawaiian guy. He had a belly. He wasn't wearing a shirt. Yeah, that was the Hawaiian Santa. So we could get toys and play outside, obviously in Hawaii. So one year, I don't even know how it started, but I have 3 sisters. And so we were outside. That was from the time where your mom would say, go play outside. And we would leave. She didn't know where we were. There were no phones. And we came back at dinner all dirty.
Right.
Wash our faces, have dinner, take a bath, and we'd be in bed by 8 o'clock, right? Like that was our life. Forget about what was TV. We played outside. So one year we got a pogo stick and we got stilts. Holy cow. I'll never forget it. I was in 5th grade.
Those are sweet gifts.
First of all, we lived in a cul-de-sac in Hawaii, so it was a great neighborhood. So we had a safe zone to play, and my dad had painted a hopscotch out in the cul-de-sac.
Oh man.
we hopscotch like all American. You know, we're the true American kids, right? We're hopscotching. We got the pogo stick. We got the stilts. And for me, that's such a highlighted memory. I don't remember much else about that year except for being outside. Mom and dad were out there. And even though they're four girls, I don't remember fighting over the pogo stick or fighting over I just remember the excitement of like, oh, can you do it? I want to try it. You try it. We loved that fucking pogo stick and we loved the stilts. It was amazing.
I never had stilts. I would like to try that. What was the trifecta? Stilts, pogo stick. Want to guess what the third one is?
Unicycle.
You're right.
I've never tried a unicycle in my life. Have you?
I have a vague recollection that it would be very hard to do it.
I would think it would be
I think
hard.
I think maybe I'm having a recollection. I tried it once. It wasn't really, I was up against the car. I couldn't go for anything. You need stilts or something to get practiced on that thing.
Sure. Yeah, it looks super cool, but I don't know that even as a youngster, if I was that,
I think I would have had the acumen to do that. I have a very good balance.
Okay.
But not amazing balance. But I mean,
Yeah.
I'd be the kid that would jump up on a fence and walk the top of a fence. Or my neighbor had a fence which was made out of pipe. It was very odd, and I would walk on that thing, driving everyone nuts, I'm sure.
Isn't that funny? See, you know what? As a kid, I wasn't very brave in a lot of ways. And when you told that story, it reminded me of a time we played in our neighborhood. So we would wander from house to house. Nobody knew where we were, but there was a big tree in one of the neighbors' yards. Somehow, some way, we got a mattress. Who knows how, but there was a mattress underneath the tree. That's how we grew up and how we lived. And so the kids would climb up the tree and jump onto the mattress, right? So right. I have a very strong memory of everybody chiding me. I knew as a kid I was afraid of heights, but also I was very afraid of being made fun of. So I climbed up at the tree, and I remember looking down and thinking, okay, I'm either going to get laughed at or I got to jump into this fucking thing. What do you think I did? You want to guess?
I hope you jumped.
I cried and I climbed down. I cried and I climbed down. I did. I'm afraid of. I'm still to this day afraid of heights. And
well, I did something similar. I went up to the 10-meter board at Portage Park, walked to the end, and then I walked back. It took 40 minutes to get through line. And all my friends were waiting for me to jump.
Did they like boo you, or you know what I mean? Like,
no, I mean, I eventually jumped off, but I didn't do it that day.
Ooh. I don't remember specifically what happened. I do remember my older sister mocking me and calling me a crybaby. I was called a crybaby a lot, and I probably peed my pants. I peed my pants a lot when I was growing up. So I probably peed my pants and cried and then climbed down from the tree. So when you look back at your Christmases, though, even as an adult, is there anything that stands out that was like such a magical, like, wow, this was a really not necessarily based on gifts, but like, wow, this was a magical year?
You mean any Christmas memories identified as a magical year?
Yeah.
I always remember the one time my brother had moved away he moved to the West Coast. He must have been like 24 or something. And then he showed up on Christmas Eve around 10 o'clock, and nobody even knew he was coming. So that was amazing. He had been in the Navy for a bit, then he moved out to the West Coast for a bit, and he just had it, and he just came back to Chicago.
See, that's very exciting too, because around what year time frame do you think that was?
Well, 14, so that puts me at 58, 68, 72.
Yeah, and during those times, it's not like travel was like it is now. It was a big deal to fly somewhere.
Fly somewhere, drive somewhere, long distance phone calls, all amazing.
Yeah.
I apologize. My phone is blowing up, darling. The real estate guy is going to go nuts.
Uh-oh. All right. Do we need to wrap it up?
Well, because we're doing this at an odd time. Usually lunch is all clear, but no, we're doing this kind of late in the day.
Yeah.
I apologize.
That's okay. I mean, do you need to wrap it up?
I do. They want me to send something in 2 minutes.
Well, we need you to live your best life, Tom. So we're gonna let you wrap it up.
Are we gonna broadcast on Christmas?
Probably not.
Okay.
Do you want to?
Whatever. Let's see how it feels.
Yeah, let's see how it feels. We're going to Zoom our families because we're staying in for Christmas. So
All right.
we're going to Zoom everybody. I just want to let people know really quickly before we go, if you do have a lot of money and you want to spend it, Tiffany and Company has come up with a sterling silver can. It looks like a can you would have opened up that maybe had vegetables in it. And it's $1,025, but it's sterling silver. And you can still put your pencils in it. So Tiffany and Company has that if you want an extravagant gift.
I love it.
Yeah. Yes. And so Melikliki Maka Mia, Holy Maki Hiki How, everybody.
Well, I hope we do something on Christmas. That would be nice. I'm sure a lot of people are in.
You know what? That might not be a bad idea. All right. Yeah. Let's see how it goes. Good luck with all your real estate stuff. I'm Melinda McKinsey.
I'm Tom Wise. And thanks for sticking by and unpacking some shit. I didn't know there's going to be a quiz. We'll do a fuller show next time. I appreciate it. Your efforts, Melinda. I'm sorry I cut.
Quizzes are super fun and you're good at
that. All right. All right. We'll see you next time. Enjoy the day. The day before the day before.
That's right.
Bye.